What if everything you know, life, emotions, memories, suddenly ends, and yet your consciousness continues somewhere else? What if death isn't the end, but only a doorway? For thousands of years, humans have feared and wondered, what happens after we die? Is there heaven? Reincarnation? Nothingness? Or something science hasn't discovered yet? In today's video, we'll dive deep into the science of death, the mystery of near-death experiences, ancient beliefs, and a mind-bending question. What if the afterlife is real and proven by science? Or what if there is absolutely nothing after death? Stay with me till the end, because this journey might change the way you see life forever. Why are we afraid of death? Death isn't just a biological event. It's emotional, spiritual, and deeply personal. We fear death because it is the only experience we cannot remember, control, or fully understand. Every culture, every religion, from ancient Egypt to modern civilizations, has created stories and beliefs to explain what happens after we die. Some people believe in heaven and hell. Some talk about reincarnation, being born again in a new body. Some believe in eternal darkness, nothingness. But science? Science searches for evidence, proof, data. What is death scientifically? You might think death is simple, your heart stops and it's over. But science disagrees. In 1846, a doctor named Eugène Bouchou introduced the term clinical death. He said that if a heart stops beating for 2 minutes and no pulse is found, the person is clinically dead. But today, things are much more complicated. Your heart can stop, and yet you can still be brought back to life through CPR or machines. Your brain can stop working, but your heart may still beat for days or even a full week. In 1998, scientists at UCLA studied 175 bodies whose brains had already died, and yet their hearts kept beating for almost a week. Doctors called them beating heart cadavers. Are these people alive or dead? Did their soul already leave? Nobody knows. Near-death experiences, a glimpse beyond? Since we cannot interview the dead, the closest we get are people who almost died, but came back. These are called near-death experiences, or NDEs, across the world, from India to America, from Africa to Japan. People report similar things during an NDE, a bright, glowing light, feeling of floating out of their body, meeting a being made of light, seeing dead relatives, watching doctors operate on their body, feeling peace, no pain. This is so common that psychiatrist Bruce Greyson created the Greyson NDE scale in 1983. It has 16 questions to scientifically measure how real someone's near-death experience was. In a 4-year study, the University of Southampton studied people whose hearts had stopped. 39% of them said they were aware of their surroundings, even though technically they were dead. Some said they floated above their body and watched doctors working on them. Others said time slowed down or completely stopped. What happens in the brain at the moment of death? These near-death experiences sound magical, but could science explain them? In 2010, doctors at George Washington University Medical Center studied the brain waves of 7 dying patients. Right when their hearts stopped and life support was removed, something shocking happened. Their brains showed a sudden spike of electrical activity, more active than at any time during life. This activity lasted between 30 seconds to 3 minutes. Is this the soul leaving the body, or the brain's last electrical storm before it shuts down forever? Neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Newberg has a theory. He says that during death, both parts of our nervous system, the sympathetic, fight or flight, and parasympathetic, calm and rest, start working at full power together. This never normally happens in life. The combination could create illusions of light, tunnels, floating, or peace. So, are near-death experiences the last fireworks of a dying brain, or a glimpse into the afterlife? Science still doesn't know. What if the afterlife is real and proven by science? Let's imagine a future where scientists discover solid proof of an afterlife. Imagine a headline, "Life after death confirmed." How would the world change? People might become kinder, more honest, hoping for a better afterlife. Religions would compete to prove whose beliefs were correct. Governments might create new laws based on the rules of the afterlife. A new science might emerge, afterlife physics or soul studies. But this could also create problems. What if different people believed different afterlife rules? What if some said only good people go to paradise, others said everyone goes to the same place? Arguments, conflicts, even wars might begin. What if everyone goes to the same afterlife? Now imagine the opposite. What if science proved that everyone goes to the same place after death? No heaven, no hell, just one peaceful place for all. Sounds amazing, right? But this could be dangerous. Researchers found that when people think about death, they don't become holy saints. Instead, many people start spending more, eating more, drinking more, smoking more. They start living only for pleasure. If everyone believed the afterlife is guaranteed and perfect, people might say, why care about Earth? Why care about the future? Crime could increase. Depression and suicide rates might rise. Extreme cults might appear, promising faster access to the next life. So even if an afterlife is real, knowing too much could be dangerous. Even if the afterlife is real, we would still be confused. Let's say scientists prove that consciousness continues after death. Great, but here's the problem. No one alive would know how it works. What is that place like? Is time the same there? Do we have bodies? Do we feel emotions? Can we meet our loved ones? Only the dead would know the answers. And they can't come back to tell us. So even if the afterlife is 100% real, we will still be left with doubts and beliefs, not full knowledge. People's ideas about the afterlife would still depend on their culture, their religion, their personal hopes and fears. In the end, life would still remain a mystery. Will we ever truly know? The truth is, science can explain the body. It can measure brain waves, heartbeats, and memories. But what happens to the you, your mind, your soul after death? That remains the biggest unanswered question in human history. We might never get a clear answer while we're alive. But maybe that's okay. Maybe life wouldn't be meaningful if we knew all the answers. What if we didn't need an afterlife? What if we became immortal? Right now, scientists are working on something unbelievable. Not proving the afterlife, but stopping death itself. Anti-aging genes, lab-grown organs, digital consciousness uploads cryogenic freezing to pause life. Maybe in the future, humans won't ask, what happens after we die? They might ask, do we have to die at all? Immortality could become a scientific reality, not just a fantasy. Final message, life is real, death is uncertain. So, is there an afterlife? Maybe yes, maybe no. Science doesn't know yet. But here's what we do know. You are alive right now. You can breathe, see, feel, love, and change the world. This life, this moment is real. The afterlife is still just a mystery. So instead of waiting for answers after death, let's live better while we're alive. Be kind. Take care of this planet. Love deeply. Make your time here meaningful. Because whether or not there's something after death, this life is the only one we're sure of.